All right. I think everybody knows how much I love mining in Star Citizen, or how much I have enjoyed mining in Star Citizen and really am a fan of it. This is a video from Ray's Guide, and it's titled Star Citizen 317.2 Refineries, Where's Good and Bad, or What's Good and Bad, maybe it was supposed to be. But I'm kind of curious what other people think about mining. I don't have too many discussions about mining with people. I'm pretty passionate about the state of it and not too happy with it and things like that. And sort of curious what he has to say.
Hello, this is Daniel Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. And in 3.17.2, we got a whole new raft of extra space stations at Lagrange points.
Kind of low,
and some of
but
those
that's as
have
high as I can get
refineries.
it.
And so I thought it'd be a good time to do an overview of all the refineries in the game. And usually when I try to create a guide like this, I'm hoping that it will be evergreen, be able to last a while. But in this case, I'm actually hoping that it will be quickly outdated. And the reason why I'm hoping that they will be quickly outdated is because, well, a lot of these refineries are frankly incomplete. They're barely above the level of a replacement ball, particularly the shops in the refineries. Although to some extent, even the refineries themselves are very sketchily created. As we approach here, Crusader L1, Ambitious Dream Station. This is an existing station. And as you see, it has a full range of modules, as well as gadgets and mining lasers, including both size 1 and size 2 mining lasers, all under the category of utility here. This one has a pretty good selection, having both the Helix 1 and the Helix 2, for example, Klein 1 and Klein 2.
And as the
size
Lancet.
1s are for the Prospector, the size 2s are for the Mole. But now looking at the refinery itself, we see that this is a very busy refinery, 36,077. It has a few pluses and minuses, some pluses on tungsten, bexilite, gold, titanium, and a little plus on quantanium, and a small minus on corundum. Now I have this standard bunch of minerals here on my prospector that I'm going to be taking around, I hope, to all of the refineries to be able to compare them in terms of their price and speed. Obviously, because I'm taking this all around the verse, I couldn't be using any unstable minerals like quantanium, which is what you really want to know about. But as you see, using Dynix, which is my recommendation for all miners, it is going to cost $671 and take a little over a day. Now let's go to Hurston L1, Green Glade Station. This is also a refinery that's been around for a long time. Although,
I'm curious
like all
on
stations,
this.
the
I've never done
has
this.
been updated for 3.17.2 in terms of new
where he'll bounce
hangar
around
locations, so that all ships can land at a hangar if they so wish. If you
use
call
Dynix.
landing services, you will
Or
always be
Dynix.
given a hangar to come to. And these hangars are on the inside of the ring versus the outside. But come to the shop, and it's a very well-stocked shop in terms of both modules and gadgets, many different sizes, many different types, as well as here's the gadgets.
He should point out the gadgets here, I
Every
think.
place has all four of the standard gadgets, and here is the mining heads. Again, a good selection of both size 1 and size 2 mining heads. And
It's got
here
Lancet
at
2
the
Helix too.
refinery, again, a few pluses and minuses. A very good plus on copper there. And 7,400% of capacity, so it says it has an extreme workload. A large surcharge will be added. But when I look at all three and set it to Dynix, I will see that the actual price is still $671 and the actual time is still 1 day.
Because that feature doesn't exist.
So now we're going on to Hurston L2, Faithful Dream Station. This is also a station that has been in prior releases, although again it's been redesigned. Here we are again coming into the inside of the ring, which is where most of the small landing pads are on some of these stations that have the big rings and all. Others have the small landing pads out on extended arms out to the side. And here we are looking at the refinery.
This is cool though. This will be the first time that you go to refineries where you're landing in a hangar rather than on a pad outside.
Station.
Optimum they have there, that's a big one.
Again, of mining modules, sizes 1, 2, and 3 of all of the active modules. Again, the 4 gadgets that are the standard in the universe. Now let's look at the refinery. This has a few small minuses, a few small pluses. It's
again, the only thing that
8,000%
matters is
capacity,
quantanium.
And again, the price and time is the same. Now look at Arc L4, Faint Glen. I believe this is one of the new stations that we're coming in. Now this is an example where there are no large rings. So we're coming into a landing pad that is on a regular arm, and in this case, it is a roof-mounted hangar and refinery store,
Cool.
and something is clearly amiss. There are empty shelves and empty racks. And I look at the refinery shop, and the entire category of utility is missing. Literally everything about mining is not available for sale here. When I hit the refinery, I see only an adjustment for Quantanium, and that adjustment is minus 20%, which is a barely substantial. I notice it says the current capacity is 213%. And it is the same 671 credits and same
that's
one day.
a
So
bug
whether it
for
is
sure.
thousands of percents or just a little over 200, it doesn't really make any difference in either the time or the price. Now we're coming into Microtech L5 Modern Icarus Station, coming around the opposite side,
right?
And having a side entry hangar. And again, we get to the mining store, and it's pretty clear right from the start, we are dealing with an empty mining store that does not sell anything.
Bug or oversight, guys. Bug or oversight.
Contradiction in terms. So here, there's a large negative on Quantanium and a large negative on Titanium. It shows the current capacity of 192, but still 671 credits and 1 day. No difference in terms
Negative
of the time
25% on Quantanium.
Busy, at least
it's
up
just
to this
like, don't
point.
come here.
Now we come into ARC L2, Lively Pathway Station. Now, I don't really know what CIG's game is with these stations with a huge negative on Quantanium. Maybe they're trying to make a competitive space so that players that have ships like the Starfarer and later the Odyssey will have a market niche for coming to these places and using them for the Quantanium fueling. But here again, we're looking at the refinery store and finding empty shelves and not even any of the utilities. Now we come to the refinery, and again, Quantanium at 20%, 933% busy with the same time and price. So again, I think they're trying to create a niche for the ships.
This is my spot.
Quantanium.
This is going to be the busiest location.
L1 Wide Forest Station. I believe this one has been in previous releases. So if the pattern continues to be followed, we will come here. Oh, I didn't see that coming, and neither did you.
I did. It was going in so fast.
Well, that's a problem. So I reclaimed and refilled my ship, but obviously I couldn't get exactly the same mix of metals as the old one. But as you see, we have the a very well stocked, including the Brandt module. You don't often always see the Brandt module at every station.
Brandt's
so
your favorite, really?
And buy a few of them here. But
not
there's
mine.
a huge difference between the refineries that were available.
So he's a
prior
Helix
to
enjoyer, I guess.
3.17.2, and these new ones in 3.17.2 in terms of how completed they are. And then you have to think
Brandt's
about
best for mouse wheel.
okay. Points where there still is a station, but no refinery at all then. Is this some of the L4s and L5s? Are CIG setting these aside as having no refinery specifically because there's no minerals there, or because they're trying to create a market niche for the Expanse? Again, we have a pretty good selection of mining lasers.
They're not
here,
thinking
but
about
not
the
as good as some of
Expanse,
other
dude. They
stations.
literally just forgot.
The refineries is 25,703% full. And so again, our new bundle is 377 credits and 22 hours and 17 minutes instead of 1 day. So again, that's because I've got a slightly different mix of minerals in my hold now. Next up, we're going to Microtech L2 Long Forest Station. This is a
This is new
brand
for sure.
station, and so I think we can almost predict at this point what the results are going to be when we get to the refinery, if it continues to hold true.
What modules do I run for
Once
Quantanium?
again, a completely
Lancet laser, 2 surges,
empty
and an
refinery
optimum.
store, a minus 20% on Quantanium. But when we look at the Dinex, now this says its current capacity is only 17%. And so, when we look at how long it's going to actually take to do things,
Did it change?
at 17%, we see half of the price, but the same speed, which is peculiar. It would seem to me, this is just my logic here, that being backed up would cause things to take more time, more so than it would affect the price. But the price seems to have only 2 steps, more expensive and less expensive. and the time is not affected at all.
Interesting.
Whereas it seems to me the price would tend to stay mostly the same, but if the refinery has a huge backlog, that would affect the time to refine. But we'll continue here from Microtech L2 Long Forest.
Yes. See, like that would be your logic, but then your logic about the idea of the expanse being a thing, this is directly contradictory to that logic, Ray. Like the reason why the time doesn't take more right now is because you don't have a secondary option, and the only thing to mine is Quantanium. So I think that they're planning on making there be a funnel for miners that are mining Quantanium to go to a certain place, right? Is the point of that. They don't want to spread Quantanium miners out to all these different locations. And I think that the idea of the time not changing and only the cost is simply because there isn't a secondary option. Once the expanse comes in, I guarantee that when a ship is at 100... Also, there's clearly a rounding error. You can't be at like 5 million% capacity, right? Like that's not a thing. So when something's at high capacity, I imagine that there'll be, you'll get turned away or something like that, or it would just take insane time.
Last refinery on our list, Microsoft L1 Shallow Frontier. This is probably a familiar station to many of you because it was the closest station to INS Jericho and all of the events of Xenothreat. So this is a long-standing refinery station, and
looks like everything's good there.
Well stocked of a whole range of things, gadgets and modules, and here we see the 4 standard mining gadgets. Pretty much every place it is stocked at all has all 4 types of gadgets. And then we'll take a look at mining laser heads, which it has a very good supply of, including both for 1 and size 1s and size 2s. So I'll go ahead here and buy my my favorite mining laser for the Prospector.
Yep, see, he's a Helix enjoyer.
Preference for the Lancer.
I called it.
I still like the extra power of the Helix. So let's finally take a look at the Microsoft L1 Shallow Frontier Station. And take a look at our
Why does he keep calling it Microsoft?
$377 at 22 hours. Like the higher price and the same duration as we saw at Microtech L2. And now for an update on our Grow the Channel ship giveaway. As of recording, we are at 76% of the membership goal and 83% of the subscriber goal to give to that one lucky person their choice of the Anvil Liberator, the ship shipping ship for shipping your ship, or the Misk Odyssey, the long-length lookabout launcher lorry. 1 entry per video. Members, you're entered automatically, and if the winner is a member as of the date of the publishing of the video and at giveaway time, they will win both the Odyssey and the Liberator. For everyone else, just be a subscriber and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is the name of my favorite mining module. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.
Even though it's the wrong mining module to be your favorite. No, but if you use the Helix, it's definitely the right one. But the interesting thing was that there was a difference when it was below 100%. So it sounds like there's some like weird error with the math there. Obviously, when something's at 23,000%, there's something weird. But yeah, them not being set up, the negative 20% Quantanium thing, I think is just funneling people to an area like an Arc or a Crusader, just so pirates can play too, would be my guess. But I don't know. I think sometimes Ray goes a little deeper into things than the game actually has, right? Like they're not thinking at all about the Misk Expanse. No way. And if there's something that they're thinking about it, that's why that things don't take longer, right? Because I think the intention was for things to be more expensive and for things to take longer if they were at really high capacity. So yeah, but good video. It's some very cool insight actually. I never knew that was the case.